Hello everyone and welcome back to Quick Hunts. Today's review will be on an RPG I recently finished called Bug Fables, the Everlasting Sapling. Available for PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. For this review, I played the version on Steam and was provided a review code from the game's publisher, Dangen Entertainment. Thank you so much for the code, now on to the review. The story of Bug Fables takes place in the land of Bulgaria and follows three main heroes, an adventurous and somewhat greedy bee named V, a noble scarab beetle with a secret past named Kabu, and Leaf, a mysterious moth who can use ice magic and refers to themselves as a collective. The trio's goal is to find artifacts for the Ant Queen in order to unlock the mysteries of the Everlasting Sapling, a mysterious mythical item that holds the key to immortality. Bug Fables is an RPG that is inspired by the Paper Mario series, with it having similar gameplay mechanics and visual aesthetics. A design choice that was made because the game's developer, Moonspirit Games, felt that the later games of the Paper Mario series strayed too far from what made them great, a sentiment I sadly agree with. That being said, the RPG combat is a simplified turn-based style that incorporates timing and input puzzles, making combat easy to learn but hard to master. While at first this may make the game seem easy, there are a lot of situations where you have to strategize accordingly or you'll get destroyed. Not to mention the level cap is at 27, and the later enemies are definitely no pushover. Speaking of leveling, combat awards you with exploration points, this game's version of EXP. Much like other Mario RPGs, when you level up you get a choice of upgrading the party's HP, TP, or MP. Each character has their own HP, but the party shares TP and MP. TP, or technique points, are used for special skills or spells, while MP, or metal points, are used for equipping different metals, which grant the team various effects, similar to the badge system from Paper Mario. On top of having skills and magic, each character has their own basic attack with V using her Beamerang, Kabu flipping enemies with his mighty horn, and Leaf using their ice magic. Each type of attack is useful in different situations. For example, V can only attack flying enemies while Kabu can flip shelled enemies over, making them more vulnerable. Leaf is the most versatile as their ice magic can not only freeze enemies, but it also deals elemental ice damage, meaning some enemies can take additional or less damage based on their attributes. Also, Leaf can attack enemies who have burrowed underground. There's some notable improvements over the Paper Mario formula, such as the Spy command, which reveals an enemy's HP, and attributes. Unlike in Paper Mario, where only the Goomba helpers can use this, all three characters are able to make use of this ability. You can also change the party alignment at any time, making a great use of strategy in combat, but the game also has a feature called the Turn Relay, where you can pass an action on to another character. This is really useful as there are countless situations where you can get stuck with a character that can't really do anything that turn, so why not pass that action on to another character? With the only downside being the more actions a character takes per turn, the weaker their attacks and abilities become. This game also borrows mechanics from the Mario & Luigi RPG games, such as the combination skills and using abilities outside of combat on the overworld. The world of Bulgaria is vast but interconnected. There's lots of different locales to explore, each with their own quirks and insects. Areas have their own obstacles such as the bridge system in the autumn areas or the mirage mazes in the desert. Dungeons also offer their own set of puzzles and variety. Most puzzles I had no issues with, but there were a few that kept me scratching my head. The game does a good job of showing rather than telling the player, as new mechanics get introduced before they are needed, and situations to use those mechanics become playable shortly after. My only complaint with the puzzles is they're sometimes easy to miss solutions, so if you're not great at puzzles like I am, this can sometimes be frustrating. The game's presentation, like I mentioned earlier, is very much inspired by the Paper Mario series, with it being paper-thin 2D character art in a 3D and 2D world. The bright colors help breathe life into this art style and helps make the world feel alive, with each area having its own mood and feel, representing the culture and landscape. The insect aesthetic definitely feels right at home, as regular ordinary objects can seem gigantic in this perspective. It's a beautiful looking game that uses its simple art style for really amazing looking scenery. Audio definitely is on the more humorous side, with sound effects that sound cartoony, a choice that fits things very well. While there's no voice acting in the game, each character has their own sound effect to simulate speech, similar to how the first Paper Mario used a whistling sound. Music is used to help set the mood of each area and situation, and is incredibly well done. Composer Tristan Ulrich did a fantastic job here. Finally, the game's dialogue and script is witty and humorous, making for a lot of funny banter. Bug Fables is a game I enjoyed very much, and is one of the best RPGs I've played in a long time. What it lacks in content and longevity, it more than makes up for with its story, humor, and presentation. This game filled the void the last few Paper Mario games left behind. While it's not a long game, I finished it with maxed out characters in under 30 hours. It's an experience that will sit with me for a long time. If you're starving for the type of experience that made the Paper Mario series so great, don't bother wasting your time with the Origami King. Instead, save some money and grab Bug Fables on one of its many available platforms, because it's the RPG experience we needed. That's all for this Quick Hunts. I'll see you on the next one.